Hello, I'm Beau Henderson, and I've been helping people successfully navigate retirement for the past 17 years. And that's what we're going to do here on Rich Retirement TV. And I'm excited about the topic today. We're going to talk about retirement planning. How do we do it? What do we do? How do we have a successful outcome? Do I have a retirement plan? That's a good question, right? I like this here. I like talking to you here on YouTube because we can have a real informal conversation, right? So let me ask you a question. This is a question I ask every time I speak to a group or with an individual at the office is, do you have a written retirement plan? There's no wrong or right, it's do you? What I find is most of the time the answer is no. The situation when people come in to talk and meet and ask questions about retirement, what I run into is I have a lot of retirement pieces. I have puzzle pieces I've accumulated over my life. I might have a 403B here, a 401k, a couple of IRAs. My wife has a pension. We got some life insurance, got some pieces. But when I ask, does it feel like a strategy? The answer is often no. Most of the time, the answer is no. And when we don't have a strategy, what our retirement plan becomes, or what our strategy becomes, is I get there and I hope everything turns out okay. And hoping everything turns out okay is a very passive, reactive approach to retirement planning. The problem is, honestly, that's what most people do. They get there, something bad happens, something outside of the plan happens, and then they're scrambling to adjust. So that's my goal for you today as we go through this conversation about retirement strategy and retirement planning is, can we move forward on this conversation and get to a place to where I can answer three questions? One, do I have a retirement strategy? We can say yes there. Two, I have a strategy. Do I understand it? Do I know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it? I can't tell you how many times I've run across a situation and we're looking at the retirement puzzle pieces, and I'll just ask the question, again, neither good or bad, do you know why you're doing that there? And people are just, it's a blank stare. It's deer in the headlights. And again, it's not bad or good, but we need to understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, or else we're putting ourselves in a risk, in a position for something to happen that we don't want to happen. So that's the two questions, right? Do I have a strategy? Yes. Do I understand it? Good, if we can say we can understand it. The third thing we want to answer is, am I confident in that strategy? I feel good about it. It makes sense. I understand it, and I feel confident about it, because when you're confident and you understand it, that creates clarity, and those things create peace of mind. And one of the comments I hear more often than anything is, I just don't want to be worried in retirement. I don't want to be stressed. I don't want it hanging over my head that maybe the money's going to run out. Maybe I'm not doing the best I should. So that's the importance of having a retirement strategy. So as I ran through those questions, and if you find yourself saying, you know what, you're right, Beau, I have a lot of puzzle pieces. I have, if you pull my statements together, I have 20 puzzle pieces of my financial life. Again, insurances, maybe some long-term care, there might be an annuity in there, there might be some mutual funds and a brokerage account, IRAs, 401ks, they're all puzzle pieces. And when we look at them, what I love to do is just lay them out on the table. And then the work and the strategy starts to come together when we start saying, how do we put these back together? How do we integrate those pieces to have the best result possible? And when we do that, that's when we can say we have a retirement strategy that we understand and that's going to work. Again, if we can get you there, you're ahead of 90+% of your peers, because most people are reactively, passively approaching their retirement. And those that are going to be successful, those that are going to be confident, those that are going to have peace of mind, are the proactive that create a strategy, and they don't blindly trust and hand over their retirement future to anybody. They're proactive and saying, I'm going to learn what I need to learn. That's why I hope you're here, and I'm glad you're here, and that's why I want to help answer those questions. I want to proactively raise my retirement IQ so that I can be that person that leads my team, that leads my ship, because only me, only I know my goals, what I want to accomplish, the way that I know them. It's my money, it's my future, it's my life. So that's my goal, is how do we accomplish that? How do we empower ourselves? It all starts with strategy. So that's my word of the day, right? Is if we take nothing more away from how to have a successful retirement, do you have a strategy? Okay? If we can build on that and it's a strategy we understand and feel confident in, you're there. You're where you need to be. If not, don't beat yourself up, right? That lets us know what we need to address. That lets us know our goal. That lets us know I need to ask some more questions. I might need to read some more books on some of these topics. I might need to start interviewing some advisors and see who is that right fit for somebody to help me maybe be a guide or a partner in putting this retirement that I want to create into a plan. So next steps, right? But that brings up a good question. So we talk about a strategy. What makes up a successful retirement strategy? The way I look at it is a retirement strategy is made up of multiple integrated retirement plans. So hang with me on this. So the first retirement plan that we need to nail and get right is your income plan. For retirement to work, and retirement is a cash flow game, we need to make sure we have plenty of retirement income coming in from our assets, pensions, resources to cover the expenses going out. And we need to really do a lot of diligence to create an income plan that makes sure that we have enough income and that income's not at the mercy of necessarily market swings and corrections. Do we have the right buckets of money addressing the right job we need to accomplish in retirement? That being said, we also need to address growth. What part of my asset needs to be exposed to risk so we can get longer term averages of higher growth to address things like inflation, us not running out of money. So there's a growth plan. So you get your income plan, you've got your growth plan. Then we got to talk about things that this probably has more to do with anything of your overall strategy as far as success and how much money you actually get to keep and spend is what's your tax plan? What are things we can do to mitigate taxes or lessen taxes throughout the course of the distribution phase of our retirement? So there's a tax plan, right? Income plan, growth plan, tax plan. And then we go to estate plan. Something happens to me. Have I set my family up? Do I have a will? Do I have a trust if necessary? Do I have a financial power of attorney in place? Do I have healthcare directives in place? Have I protected my family from assets being tied up or wishes being made that might not be what I would have wanted to happen? Do I have an estate plan? So again, income plan, growth plan, tax plan, estate plan. How about healthcare plan? Probably one of the biggest expenses for most people in retirement is healthcare. So do I have a plan, or am I just hoping it turns out all right, right? The passive reactive plan. Do I have a healthcare plan? Have I addressed or at least had the conversation about long-term care? Do I know that my Medicare supplements are what they need to be, the best I can do? What's my healthcare plan? So again, we're navigating all these plans. Got to be they can't be made in a vacuum. Each one they got to be integrated to work together to create that strategy. And the last plan, and this is one of the most neglected plans that we need to talk about, and it's actually the plan of the non-financial aspects of a successful retirement. That's your life. That is, what is my health going to look like? What are my relationships going to look like? What am I going to do now that I'm not working? What's my identity going to be? What's my contribution going to be back to the world? Because if we don't start thinking about those things and planning those things, we're setting ourselves up for some very negative things that can happen in retirement, such as depression, isolation, divorce, things you don't hear people talking about. You know, I laugh a lot of times because when we talk about the reality and the statistics of some of the dark things that happen if we don't plan those transitions. If you look at media and you look at commercials and advertising, you'd think retirement's all about that couple on the yacht with their beautiful white hair blowing in the wind, right? Everything's perfect. Now, I hope we all have some moments like that, right? Some memories and experiences that are great. But there are some other things we need to plan for, be aware of, and that's the non-financial aspects of a successful retirement. And that leads us to define retirement success beyond just the financial and even look at retirement satisfaction. Lo and behold, right? How happy am I in retirement? And again, health, relationships, all those things. What do we do with our time? All those things have to do with what a true successful retirement looks like. So I hope this is just giving an idea of those 6 plans we just went through. So all that has to go together. Each one of those individually have to work. They've got to work together and be integrated specific to you. All the variables that make up you, your life, your goals, your behavioral style, everything. And then they're all put together in the form of what we call the magic words, a retirement strategy. Might sound like a lot, but it's worth it because a retirement strategy is what will determine if your retirement is successful. So I hope that at least brought up some questions, some things to think about. And if you have questions, that's what we do here. That's what I do. That's what Rich Retirement TV is about. What questions do you have about retirement? Do you have specific questions about any of those plans? Income planning, growth planning, tax planning, the estate planning piece, the non-financial aspects. Do you have any questions about Social Security? What are the questions that you have that if you have good information, that it's going to help you make better decisions in navigating your retirement? That's what I'm here for. So once again, thank you for joining me on Rich Retirement TV. Please subscribe to the channel. We'll be doing your topics, answering your questions, and topics that are relevant to you, what you care about, and what will help you navigate a successful retirement. Now, we did go ahead and put a Rich Retirement cheat sheet. There's a link in the comments that's pinned in the comments there. So if you'd like that, it'll give some ideas to start the conversation, some things to talk about, read up on. So click that, get that. And again, just subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you, seeing your questions, and seeing once again how I can help you live that rich, successful, meaningful, and fulfilling retirement. Take care. See you soon.